In cybersecurity, an endpoint is any physical device that connects to and exchanges information with a computer network. This ranges from traditional servers and employee laptops to mobile phones and even embedded Internet of Things devices like smart thermostats. Every connected device acts as a doorway. If an attacker gains access to a single compromised smart thermostat, they can use it to move laterally and compromise the rest of the network. The core goal of device security is to defend these specific entry points, blocking adversaries from using them to steal, corrupt, or destroy digital data. The traditional perimeter fence around an organization's network no longer exists. Today, a network is only as secure as its weakest, most poorly defended endpoint. This animated diagram represents the CIA triad, the foundational framework used to measure device security. The three pillars are confidentiality, keeping data private from unauthorized eyes, integrity, ensuring data is accurate and untampered with, and availability, keeping data and services accessible to authorized users. But those shields fail when users make poor decisions. Ignoring operating system updates or relying on weak, easily guessed passwords immediately creates open pathways that threaten all three pillars of the triad. You can invest millions in advanced hardware, but if everyday user habits actively bypass the protections designed to maintain the CIA triad, the device remains entirely vulnerable. Imagine you are preparing your laptop for a massive group project. Before you even open a document, the critical first step in hardening your device is checking for and applying operating system and software updates. Software developers regularly release small updates called patches. These patches rewrite portions of the code to close publicly known software vulnerabilities before adversaries can exploit them. Once the software is patched, you need to establish basic access control. Setting a long, complex password ensures that an attacker cannot easily unlock your profile through random guessing or automated brute force attacks. This diagram shows how multi-factor authentication, or MFA, layers that defense. The left side requires a knowledge factor, something you know, like a password. The right side requires a possession factor, something you have, like a code sent to your phone. Relying on a password alone creates a single point of failure. MFA forces an attacker to simultaneously breach two entirely separate security domains to gain access. Moving to the software level, we apply the principle of least privilege. This means actively going into your settings and revoking unnecessary application permissions, such as cutting off a simple word processor's access to your location data or microphone. To protect the connection itself, the device relies on a host-based firewall. This software sits on your machine, monitoring and blocking unauthorized inbound and outbound network traffic based on strict configuration rules. Meanwhile, anti-malware software operates in the background. It scans the files stored on your hard drive, comparing them against a massive database of known threat signatures to identify and quarantine malicious code. However, adversaries now frequently deploy fileless malware. Instead of existing as a file on a hard drive, this malicious code lives entirely within the computer's volatile RAM and hijacks legitimate programs, easily evading standard file scans. Because adversaries attack through multiple vectors simultaneously, from the network layer to the application layer to volatile memory, layered device defenses are an absolute requirement. Handheld and mobile endpoints introduce an inherent physical vulnerability. They are easily lost or stolen in public spaces. If an adversary gains physical possession of the hardware, full disk encryption protects the confidentiality of your data. The files remain scrambled and completely unreadable without the proper decryption key. To address the loss of the hardware itself, maintaining off-site or cloud backups ensures the availability of your data. You can recover your project files even after theft, physical destruction, or a ransomware attack. A simple, immediate physical security step is configuring your workstation screen to lock the moment you step away, blocking quick, unauthorized access. Encryption and backups act as ultimate fail-safes. They guarantee that losing the physical device does not equate to losing the sensitive data stored on it. Technical tools require human direction. This brings us to managerial controls, the overarching organizational rules that dictate human behavior and set security standards. This document represents an acceptable use policy, or AUP. It is the primary managerial control, outlining exactly which software is permitted, how data must be handled, and the rules for safe web browsing. When you make the individual choice to avoid open public Wi-Fi, or when you report a phishing attempt, you are executing the AUP in real time. Technical controls like firewalls can only succeed if managerial controls like the AUP ensure that the user doesn't actively bypass them. Let's review 5 essential steps to defend a device. Update your software, enforce MFA, lock and encrypt your devices, restrict app permissions, and maintain backups. Time for an AP Cyber Review question. Which pillar of the CIA triad is directly protected by encrypting a laptop's hard drive? The answer is confidentiality. Question 2. Why is MFA structurally more secure than a password alone? Because it requires 2 distinct categories of authentication factors. Final question. What type of software scans for known threat signatures to protect an endpoint? That is anti-malware. In an interconnected ecosystem, isolated security doesn't exist. Protecting a personal endpoint is the only way to protect the global network.